Hello again, everyone. Zack Attack is here, my WWE Backlash review for tonight, Sunday, September 11th, 2016, the 15th year anniversary of the infamous day known as 9/11. And I was in middle school when that happened. I didn't know about it happening until like 1 o'clock in the afternoon when one of my teachers told me about it, so can't believe it's been that long. No matter what you believe about it, still a sad day in American history. Before I get on with Backlash, of course, a lot of news in wrestling world have usurped over the weekend with obviously the big CM Punk losing in the first round in UFC. You know, trolls of the Lord, Palooza over him losing in the very first round by choke, kind of like what Lesnar did. And also, besides Punk losing, of course, big news flying away with Alberto Del Rio getting released and Paige leaving the company. Del Rio ain't that big of a loss to me, but Paige is a big loss because she could have been a big face of the anti-diva revolution. You know, she was like the first real anti-diva, and she was a big part of that women's revolution that's going on right now, getting pushed to the side. So, sad to see that going to happen with her, kind of misusing her. So, there you go. But on to Backlash. The first Backlash is 2009, and the first brand-only pay-per-view of the new era with SmackDown. SmackDown's been doing okay when it comes to competing against Raw when it comes to those shows. And the pay-per-view looked like it was going to be another okay affair, not as good as Raw's. With lack of star power, without John Cena being involved, and American Alpha out within days of the pay-per-view, selling a storyline injury to Jack Gable. And another hit the pay-per-view took within hours of the pay-per-view, which I'll get to that. Despite all that against it, going into this pay-per-view, and with only a few matches to fill in a 3-hour pay-per-view, which, spoiler alert, ended 20 minutes early, the pay-per-view itself was actually not that bad. You had 3 really good matches, including the main event, which was like the match of the night, undisputedly. And a lot of new champions were crowned. Not just obviously the new first ever SmackDown Women's Champion and Tag Team Champs, but we also had a new champ crowned. In a match that was, pun the pun, simply phenomenal. And I think everyone would probably say this, a little bit better than SummerSlam. Well, at least I can say this. The ending was way fucking better than SummerSlam. Way fucking better. There was only one little clunker of the night, which was involved by a last-minute decision. And you couldn't blame the referee for that last-minute thing they had to do to fill it in, but it was still a clunker. Because the match we were hoping to see would have been a good match. But if you got to replace it, but last minute. We had really good action overall. You know, the 3 matches that were great. The tag team matches, the second chance, and the finals were not that bad. And the only clunker was the last minute thing. 7.5 for this pay-per-view. On the strength of 3 really good matches, and overall fun and entertaining night. For being SmackDown with a depleted roster to begin with not a lot of depth to its roster, and losing a lot of big names to the pay-per-view, it wasn't that bad of a pay-per-view. Some exciting moments, including what we never thought we'd ever see. A top guy from a rival company 10 years ago holding the belt of WWE. It's phenomenal. Keep using that word. Word of the day is phenomenal. So let's get on with the pregame. Going into the pre-show, we were like, there was no match announced for it. So I was like, okay, that's going to fill in time with some blah blah bullshit. But they did have a pre-show match. Albeit last minute. Tossed together. We were thinking the pre-show match might be involving Kalisto and Baron Corbin. They had a feud going on. With Kalisto getting beat up by Baron Corbin. But instead of Kalisto against Baron Corbin, it was Baron Corbin against Apollo Crews, who set the motion for him. He went from being in an IC title match against Miz on the main card of SummerSlam to being on the pre-show against Baron Corbin. Especially his IC title match was just okay. This match for being the opening, not bad of an opening match for the pre-game. Cruz needs to find a better character than just the $1 billion smile guy, which I still like the $1 billion smile, but needs a little bit more identity to his character, add a little more dimensions. But for being what it was still a decent match. Cruz looked really good, some big moves, some big splashes. And Corbin, who I've been applauding him as a great heel, you know, I used to call him the Roman Reigns wannabe, Roman Reigns clone, but he's really stepped up his game, especially since he debuted main roster. It's been up and down with him, especially with the big roster, but now he's on a one show. I think it's going to really help him, especially in his match. Delivered pretty well. Great action for both guys. Great brawling with, of course, Corbin beating crap out of Cruz on the outside. Cruz some big power slams, some big insecurities. And an STO from Corbin at one point, so it was a fun. I did watch the match, but I was a little bit distracted because the Lions game was on. And almost had a heart attack, like every Lions fan was. Especially in the finish. They almost blew it again, but they won. Talk about death on attack sports. So I kind of paid attention to the match. I was busy watching the Lions game. But when it was over, went straight to the ending of the match. We're going to living a deep 6-4 2 count. But Cruz was flying back with some big moves after the deep 6. He got caught with the end of days after raking the eye and 1-2-3 victory for Baron Corbin. And a decent fun matchup to begin the show. 2.7 to begin this one. Fun opener for the first match. I know it was a pre-game match, but still, it was a decent opener. Speaking of decent opener, one to the main card. Before that, to open up the big card, before that first match, we had Bray and Jimmy Man coming out to welcome us to the inaugural SmackDown Live pay-per-view. And we kicked off with that first match, which was the 6-pack elimination challenge for the new SmackDown Women's Championship. We have Carmella, Alexa Bliss, looking hot as usual. She was looking hot as usual, but more hotter because she was dressed up like Harley Quinn out of Suicide Squad. She looked cute in that outfit. I know it's not Halloween yet, but it's that season coming up. I'm always seeing Halloween stuff at the stores. So we see Blizz's Halloween costume, really. And she looked hot in that. We also had Natalya, Naomi, Becky Lynch, and Nikki Bella. Now, a lot of people are picking Bella to win the predictable route. Because WWE lately has been going for the shocking route. And I love that, the shocking route. Instead of going for the predictable route. You know, because for the Fatal 4-Way match, for the new championship, we thought they were going to go the predictable route, have Rollins or Reigns win it. But they went for the shocking route and had Kevin Owens win. So we're like, okay, predictable route, Nikki Bella wins. Shocking route, Becky Lynch wins. She deserves a little bit more than Nikki Bella. Because if Bella would have won this match, it would have erased everything the new era was doing for women's wrestling and brought back the Diva era. Well, glad for that. Not going down, especially the match was not that bad. Even though women's roster is not as good or as veteran-y as the Raw roster, SmackDown women's roster did put on a great match. A little bit better than a SummerSlam 6-person. You know, they had a 6-person match, tag match, but a 6-woman, any woman for himself match. Really good opener for the main pay-per-view. Great spots, great action from all the women. All the women had a chance to shine in this match. Bliss looked great in her first major match on a pay-per-view that's not a tag match, like a competitive match. There was some good, Tower Doom spot at one point. And there was not as many botches as other women matches. And it was just all fiery action. And there was a lot of interaction, especially Nikki and Carmella had their little feud going on, their little interaction. And I said the first elimination would probably be Bliss, Naomi, or Carmella. Well, the first elimination was Alexa Bliss by Naomi after a neckbreaker combination. That was the top rope. There was the Tower of Doom, but then there was the top rope move when Bliss was on the top, and Naomi and Natalya named her with a like a combination move, like a double team move at the top. That was a great spot, which led to Alexa Bliss's elimination. And Naomi, like, she's very underrated because I've always applauded Naomi. She's a great athlete. She's got a decent gimmick going on. How long that gimmick will last, but still a fun gimmick. With the glow outfit and, of course, sticking with the glowing shoes. I love since she debuted those a couple years ago. So she had no moments in the match. Natalia doing 1 point. But despite some shining moments from Naomi, she was the second eliminated, and she got submitted to the sharpshooter from Natalia. And Nikki, yeah, like that signifies the old era of divas, the diva era. But she did hold. I think she's one of the few women that were from the divas era that could stand up to this new breed of women's wrestlers in the main company. I don't think her sister would have lasted long if she would have stuck around after WrestleMania. But Nikki did her best moves, Did an Alabama Slammer. Of course, not able to do the rack attack because of her neck injury. She delivered the new finisher that she debuted at SummerSlam, the Fireman's Carry Cutter, with the 1-3-3 victory, delivering elimination to Natalia. So then the final three, Carmella, Lynch, and Nikki Bella. Carmella did have a little bit of altercation with Nikki throughout the match, even trying to submit her in the Code of Silence at one point. I'm glad it gave a name to that move that Carmella's been delivering. So then all of a sudden, after Natalia's eliminated by Nikki got Carmella eliminated. Not Carmella eliminated, but Natalia eliminated. Carmella came in with a hail pro on Nikki, rolled her up, eliminated Nikki Bella. Yes! Thank you, Nikki, for not burying people like your boyfriend, John Cena. Buries people. Let the new girl shine. Especially one that deserves it more than anybody else. After being shafted to the back and seeing other 4 horsewomen take higher spots on the main roster and being relegated to sidekick positioning, Becky Lynch finally did it. She won her first major championship in WWE. After the elimination of Nikki, she and Carmella brawled until putting Carmella into the disarmer. And Carmella started tapping. And Carmella did well in this match too. Like, everyone shined. But it was Becky's night. You know what I mean? Everyone, including myself, like I said, we wanted Becky to win. We fear that they were going to go to predictable route and give it to Nikki. Like, she's the comeback, She's been away for 7 months. But you've been away for 7 months, Nikki. But I don't think you'd be able to defend a championship with your neck being the way it is. Just came back. You don't just give a woman a championship or anybody a championship right after an injury. Well, they did it at the Rollins once, but then they got cashed in on by Dean Ambrose. But anyway, it was an emotional moment for Becky. She cried during it, and even Kevin Owens stayed in character, said, Becky Lynch crying because she won a championship. Yeah. Saw that before. Because I did it first. Because I cried after I won. So, a little bit in that one, but a lot of people were applying Becky on social media. And it was a great moment for her. Great way to open up the show. 3.8 for this fun opener. Great spot for the women. All the women shine. Heck of a matchup for these great women from the SmackDown division. And I'm happy that they're making Becky Lynch the face of the division. And with the impending return of Eva Marie from a suspension, expecting Marie to get a big push a little bit, despite suspension. Because she was a top heel on SmackDown until that suspension. But we'll probably see her back soon. Because I think the suspension over this week. So we may see her back on SmackDown next week. Not this week, but next week. I've been watching SmackDown. I haven't made reviews. Because I'm out of it Tuesday. But I still watch it. So I am having fun on SmackDown. They're delivering decent shows. And this pay-per-view is off to a rousing start with Becky Lynch winning the Women's Championship. Now on to the second chance match involving the Usos and the Hype Bros. It was put together after the attack from the Usos to American Alpha after American Alpha defeated Usos in the semi-final in less than 30 seconds. I love the Usos heel turn. They've been bland for a while. You know, the gimmick worked for a while. You know, babyface, fun, face paint gimmick. Ooh, they were fun for a while. But it really became stale after Jay got injured and was out for half the year. When he came back, it wasn't the same. You know, crowd wasn't feeling him anymore. And especially didn't help when they were looped in with Woman in his feud against AJ Styles in the club. It didn't help either. Got a more bad fan reaction being teaming up with Woman, who was already getting heat to begin with. So the heat rubbed up on them. And they turned heel, and I love their heel turn. Although you can tell they haven't got a new theme for them yet. They're still using the old theme in the old Titantron. They'll change eventually. But what did change is their outfits. No more face paint, all black, all thuggish. And they took on the hype bros. And I love the Usos, not just their style of clothing, but their style of wrestling now. That's just thuggish and beatdown style. With some great double teaming. Really isolating Zack Ryder in the early half of this matchup. And I love a big Ryder guy. You know, been blowing him for years and wanted to get a spot. I was happy he got that WrestleMania moment. But I think he isolated by the Usos with some great double teaming. Some kicks and high-flying moves. Not as much as he used to. And I love that at one point when the Usos said, shh, and told fans to shut up because they weren't doing the ooh so anymore. But then Mojo got the hot tag in, coming out of House of Fire. I think, Christian, no matter what about Mojo, he's not the best wrestler in the world, but he's trying. He's a decent brawler. He's got colorful, cliche personality. And they had some good moments, too. Great double teaming on the outside. Wyatt did a big move. And then Mojo delivered a big shoulder attack on both Usos on the outside. So then Rhino got back in. So Big Frankenstein a move. Also knee strike to Jay. The June affected Rhino for a minute. And then a chop block from Jay to Rhino. Drop kick to Rhino's knee. And put him in the lock that they put Jack Gable in after Gable's team won. And Rhino tapped out to the leg crab. And Usos were moving on to challenge the winners of the semifinal match to determine a new championship, of course, referring to Rhino and Heath Slater. With a lot on the line for them with Slater's status as a free agent up for grabs, a contract. So, 2.9, I'll just, 2.8. I'll give it a 3.0. I'll give it a 3.0. Decent match. I think the final was better. But this is a decent second chance match, coming out of the situation with the American Alpha injury angle, which will probably set up a Uso feud in the future. But then we have Usos and the popular... I love the whole free agent thing with Slater and Rhino. We'll see what happens with that, especially what they're doing with Slater with the kids. It's kind of a weird team. Fun team. The odd couple team, but a fun odd couple team. Now on to the second best match of the night. For the Intercontinental Championship, The Miz defending against Dolph Ziggler. Now, we have seen these two wrestle so many times in the past. We think we get sick of it. But with some people, I'll never get sick of them wrestling each other, like Owens and Zayn, Charlotte and Sasha. And these two ain't bad to watch either. These two delivered a great match with actual motivation with the whole Miz promo on Talking Smack recently. Talking Smack to Daniel Bryan. He even intimidated him backstage when he negotiated his contract. And there was some talking to D. Bryan during the match, especially heating up the rumors that they're going to release Daniel Bryan wrestle again. There's been a little rumors about D. Bryan wrestling again, especially with Miz doing the yes at one point and doing the support submission with a Daniel Bryan submissions. It would be more awesome if Miz would have done the leg kicks or attempted the yes lock at one point. But he did get the figure 4 on, especially when he attacked Ziggler's knee early. But then Miz was nailed at one point against the ring post and injured his arm a little bit. So both guys had injuries to deal with to sell in this match. And it was just a fun match. It's probably one of the best matches they've had against each other You know, they wrestled so many times. They're both from Ohio. Both had similar stories. Both came to WWE around 05, 06. Ziggler as a mascot for Curran White, the Chavo Guerrero character that was dismissed after the death of Eddie. Miz in 06 being the host of SmackDown's Divas Search. And look, we're both guys all multiple-time champions, especially for IC Championship. They have feuded for IC Championship before. But I see them feud for it again. And it is a very long match, too. Very long, great action-packed, great spot. Ziggler came with his big with the famous sir and the zigzag. But Miz comes with a famous splash. And then, like I said, did a figure four at one point. But this match got close to the crescendo with the big move, near fall, the near fall. It was just a fun match. There was a sling. One of my favorite spots was Miz doing a springboard sit-down powerbomb at one point to Ziggler. That was a great spot. And there was a little screwiness with the ending, especially a little bit of a vomit from Manise. But it didn't spoil the match, in my opinion. Scary between both the best match of the night had screwy endings attached to them. But the screwy endings to both matches did not spoil the matches. With Ziggler looking good, and a little distracted by Manise, Manise sprayed something in the eyes of Dolph. Some call it pepper spray, some call it arrogance. But no matter if Ziggler blinded from that spray, Miz capitalized with the skull crushing finale and 1-2-3 victory for Miz with a little help from his wife. Like, he's been called a coward. He wanted to prove to people he wasn't a coward. Well, he's still a coward. Getting help from his wife. But that's the heel way of doing it. 4.0 for this matchup. The second best match of the night. Next main event. Women's was the best third. But these two put on a really good matchup. Best matchup between these guys, especially in a while. With new motivation for the IC Championship. It was just a fun, hard-hitting match between these two great guys. Now on to the only clunker of the night. And it was a last-minute thing. A match that was as promoted as the main event. A match we're all looking forward to seeing. Bray Wyatt against Randy Orton. Bray Wyatt needed a big win going into this. After up and down booking, the feud against Orton had a really decent start. It was great promos from the guys. And it looked like these two were going to have a great matchup. Probably would have been one of the best matches of the night next to the main event and Ziggler and Miz. But then the Dutch sheet started reporting early in the afternoon that Randy Orton would be taken out of the match due to an undisclosed injury he had sustained. Fuck you, Lesnar! I blame Lesnar for this. You know, you think about Seth Rollins being dangerous and injuring people. Brock Lesnar injured Randy Orton again. He beat his ass up. That's why I was not too happy with Brock. I'm getting sick of Brock's gimmick. His gimmick is getting old. Like the Usos gimmick was getting old. Brock's gimmick of being a badass and hurting people is getting old. He hurt Orton. I blame him for Orton being taken out of a big matchup for Backlash. So they wrote him out in a storyline injury angle, being attacked backstage by Bray Wyatt. So Bray Wyatt came out, and they had a referee count him, so he won by forfeit. But I was like, they gotta have Bray another match, which they gave him another match. A no-holds-barred match. We were like, maybe they can do a call-up, maybe Samoa Joe, but they need a better moment for him to debut. How about Luke Harper? He's been injured for a while. We've been interested to see him feud against Bray Wyatt now that the Wyatt family's basically no more. Because we're all separated. You know, Strowman's on Raw. Rowan is, I think Rowan's on SmackDown. But Harper's been injured for a while, so like maybe it could be Harper. No. So instead, who would face Wyatt in a replacement match for Orton? The man who's been replacing him on the house shows. Kane. I know it was last minute, but God, they wrestled before SummerSlam in 2013 was Bray's first big pay-per-view match. And he wrestled Kane and Tucker with the Wyatts at Survivor Series this past November. And there was no holds barred because he didn't say the fact match was going to be that good. It was just a fight. It was an okay one. Great. There was some decent spots. One of my favorites was when they were brawling on the outside and with Kane on top of the Spanish announce table. You can't have a no-holds-barred match or any hardcore match without breaking the Spanish announce table. Bray did a running senton on top of Kane through the table. That was a great spot. Bray looked good early, just dominating Kane with the chair. And I have nothing against Kane, the guy. His booking's been shitty. He just comes off and on, you know. The way he's been booked by creative makes fans think he's unimportant. And he kind of is. He's been coming out recently and just joke-slamming people like Fandango and a random milk guy. So, there you go with that. Despite Bray Wyatt looking good at one point, there was big moves on Kane, even on the outside, not just the spot on the outside, but also in the inside as well. He was setting up Sister Abigail at one point, but then Kane countered with a choke slam. But then Kane would, Bray would come as big moves. But then Randy Orton limped out to the ring. Distracted Bray, despite selling his injury, he didn't even have strength to get an RKO on Bray. And Kane would capitalize with the choke slam and 1-2-3 victory for Kane, burying Bray Wyatt again. God, can Bray get a win on a major pay-per-view that's not a 6-man tag? Because I know he won against the New Day back in Battleground, but it was a 6-man. I always make fun of the Reeves booking from Bray because it's like every time Bray looks good in a feud, in a culminating match, he just becomes a fucking foil. I know they want to continue the Orton feud, even though he's starting on injury right now, and his injury will probably be cleared in the next couple of weeks. You know, whatever the injury is, that's undisclosed. I know they want to continue the feud, have the match anyway at a later date, now that the match never happened properly. You know, they need to find a way to continue the feud, but come on. Give Bray a fucking win. That's not a forfeit or a 6-man. Come on. Sad. 2.5. Like I said, the only thing that was bad. Usually on a WWE pay-per-view, there's like 2 or 3 things that ruin the pay-per-view. Only one thing happened, and it didn't ruin the pay-per-view. You know, it was the only bad spot on the pay-per-view was this. It was a last-minute decision, but it was a bad last-minute decision. So, there you go. Now, the crowd booing it and trolling. And the crowd was decent in Richmond today. But they came alive for this match. The finals, or the SmackDown, the kind of blue ugly WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship. They're like unoriginal bastards. They basically give SmackDown the Women's Championship, but the WWE logo is blue instead of red background like in Raw. And they basically, for the tag team titles, they just dipped the tag team titles in blue paint. It made them blue for SmackDown. I'm starting to get used to the Universal title color. I'm starting to get used to it. Still getting tough to get used to that. And now getting used to these blue tag team titles. Rhino and Heath Slater would, of course, take on the Usos. And the crowd was definitely on Slater's side because this free agent thing has been great for him. And who would have thought Heath Slater would be the co-main event of a pay-per-view? Bitch me! Ow! Heath Slater's the co-main. And he and Rhino looked good really early, coming in like House of Fire. A great offensive fury early. But then he got isolated by the Usos. Great double teamwork from them. Great thuggish team moves like they did earlier against the Hype Bros. It was a fun little tag team affair. But it was looking good with the great isolation of Slater. Slater did find an opportunity. Despite many opportunities being thwarted by the Usos to get the hot tag to Rhino, he did get that one shining moment to tag in Rhino. And how it came like House of Fire, some big clotheslines, some big moves. It's interesting to see a guy like Rhino on WWE television. I just saw him a couple weeks ago for an independent wrestling show at XICW. So that's kind of good to see him back on the main roster television. Especially, also, he's running for state representative in Dearborn. Vote for Rhino. I don't live in Dearborn, but if I did, I would vote for him. I know friends who live in Dearborn. They should vote for Rhino. So after getting clawed by the Usos against the post, he slid at the hot tag in. He blind tagged himself, actually. And he got clobbered a little bit. But the Usos were putting Heath Slater away. One of the Usos distracted the referee after Slater got knocked down by Uso with a big kick. Distracted the referee long enough for Rhino to hit the Gore on Jimmy. And Slater, still down, rolled over to Jimmy. With referee looking. 1, 2, 3. Slater wins. He not only wins himself a contract on SmackDown Live, but also gets him and Rhino the tag team titles. It would be bad for him to lose this match because they had a lot, they had a lot of great billing on this with the whole free agent thing. I like what they're doing with him appearing on both shows, winning a contract. I love the way they were doing it. The bill was great, and then when he started invading SmackDown for a contract, and had the whole trailer park thing. God, it was a like weird, funny thing. It was kind of weird, but funny. More funny than the club gimmicks that we've been seeing lately. Better than the club's bullshit. Make them serious again, WWE. Make the club great again. Make the Bullet Club great again in WWE. That's my slogan for that. And Slater's kids. I saw a lot of Slater's kids signs. And it got like an odd couple team. Kind of reminds me of Kane and D-Bot. Team, I don't know. They had weird chemistry, but it was a fun team. That's what Slater and Rhino's got. So they should be a fun team. I don't know how long they're gonna hold these belts, but it was cool to see that moment for Slater. He's on SmackDown, getting a double Y for his girlfriend. Even mentioned Dollywood at one point. It's not like, the old saying is like, what are you gonna do now? I'm going to Disney World. But Heath was like, I'm going to Dollywood. But my thing, I don't know how long they're going to do it, but I think Slater and Rhino's going to have a little feud with the Usos, and I think the Usos are going to win the titles to feud against American Alpha when they come back from their storyline angle. They're building up Alpha Uso feud, which would be great matches. I'm a big Alpha guy, especially in NXT, and I love the whole build with them. Speaking of odd couple tag teams, I love the build with them, the slow build for them in NXT to become one of the most best teams in NXT besides Enzo and Cass. The movie main roster, they were the favorites for this tournament, then taken out by the Usos, setting up a big feud between these guys. So I think Usos will win the titles from Slater and Rhino to set up a feud between them and Alpha for the titles. Would be great. Even if it's not for the titles, this should be a great feud. It's been a great feud. The feud for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship's been good. And now on to that match for that championship. With a great feud heating up. The match of the night for that prestigious title. Dean Ambrose defending against the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. This was Ambrose's best match as champion. Best one-on-one match as champion. Better than his match against Ziggler, because we thought that match was going to be good, but it just didn't deliver as much as we would. Really a combination of, guys were a little bit tired out, or the fact the crowd was dead, especially after Styles and Cena. But this match, the crowd was hot. And for the second pay-per-view in a row, AJ Styles is the best match of the night. He looked, on the bun, phenomenal. Both guys looked great. There were some great spots in this match. There were so many great spots. From Ambrose's running splash for the announce table to AJ on the outside, to that nasty spot when AJ got nailed against the wing post. Oh my god. That was probably the nastiest wing post spot since Sheamus did a spot like that to Cesaro. Got that landing on AJ, got nailed against the post. Oh my god. And it was this great action, great spot. Both guys delivering great action. AJ going for Dean Ambrose's knee, chop blocking it, and even delivering the calf crusher, delivering big damage to that knee with that calf crusher. Both guys delivered all the big moves. The lunatic clothesline, the Pele. We didn't see a flying forearm, though. But it was just, action-packed. It was a great main event. This main event made up for the main event of SummerSlam. With a better ending. Better ending than SummerSlam. We didn't leave Backlash with a question mark and confusion. We ended Backlash with a definitive finish. What a bit of screwiness. But like I said, like the Miz Ziggler match, the ending didn't spoil it. So as Ambrose was looking good, going for the dirty deeds. After the clothesline from Ambrose, because it was a Pele kick from AJ, then Ambrose went to the ropes and did a lunatic clothesline. And as he was going for dirty deeds, AJ pushed him to the referee. Referee was down for a second. And AJ delivered a low blow to Dean Ambrose like he did on SmackDown this past week. And referee back up, didn't see that low blow. AJ delivered the Styles Clash. And 1, 2, 3! AJ Styles! Who'd have thought we'd see the day that AJ Styles would be a champion in WWE? Let alone the WWE Whatever Championship holder. Now, I give WWE a lot of flack for two things. Not doing exciting moments when given the opportunity, and also not capitalizing on momentum for wrestlers. Like a couple years ago, Dolph Ziggler was the last guy standing for Team Cena, eliminating everybody on Team Authority single-handedly with the help of Sting. And I thought it was going to get a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a push. But what did WWE do with that momentum Ziggler had? Stalled it by having him storyline fired and never picked up again until the SummerSlam push. Sami Zayn, another guy WWE's failed to capitalize on his momentum. You know, he beat Kevin Owens in an epic match at Battleground. What happened to Sami Zayn to capitalize on his momentum? What did WWE to capitalize on that momentum? Nothing. Put him in a so-so last-minute match with Neville, another guy they're not using right now, good, on Raw, in a nonsensical match against the Dudleys. It would have been their last match in WWE. So AJ had all his momentum on his side. He's on the wall right now. He beat up John Cena at SummerSlam in the match of the night of SummerSlam. And he capitalized on his momentum by giving him the win. Because if Ambrose would have won, especially with all the changes tonight, with the new champions, and I do emphasize on the new, with new faces as champion, with Becky Lynch being the women's champion, Slater being the tag champ, it would have been a bad, interesting ending. It would have been as bad of an ending of a pay-per-view as was SummerSlam was if Ambrose would have won. Because I like both guys. But if Ambrose would have won, it would have been anticlimactic. Like Wayne's winning. But it was cool to see AJ win. You know, and I hope they don't turn on AJ like they did on Ambrose. Because Ambrose has a good one as champion. He's had a good one. It was good to see Ambrose finally get the championship. You know, after begging so hard for him. The matches were decent. You know, decent action. And the ratings, I don't think you can blame Ambrose for it. But the ratings are down. And when the ratings are down, you gotta point fingers at somebody. And you gotta point at the top guy of SmackDown. Ambrose. But now that AJ's a champ, should be interesting to see AJ feud with people. It'll probably give Ambrose a rematch, and it would be almost as good as this match. So, fun main event, epic way to end the show. 4.4. I'll give, you know what, 4.5. 4.5 for this match. Best match tonight for sure. Great action for both guys. With this win tonight, AJ becomes only the 5th person to win the WWE Championship at a Backlash. The Rock did it in 2000. Man, I remember seeing that one live. With Austin's involvement against Triple H. Triple H did it in 2008. Hulk Hogan did it against Triple H in 2002. I saw that one live on pay-per-view. And Randy Orton was the last one to do it at the final Backlash in 2009. So AJ's not the 5th guy. And it's great. Like, we make fun of WWE all the time for things, and they're doing some things right, some things wrong, but they're doing a lot of things right in this new era. You know it's a new era where you have a lot of new faces as champion. You know WWE's doing well when Shinsuke Nakamura is your NXT champion. Becky Lynch is the WWE SmackDown Women's champion. Kevin Owens is the Universal champion. And AJ Styles is the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. That is just too sweet! I had to do it. Too sweet. Oh yeah, baby. Fun pay-per-view. Very exciting for SmackDown. All of the things against SmackDown with a depleted roster, lack of depth to the roster, and with a lot of big stars missing this pay-per-view. The pay-per-view delivered. And as I mentioned in the beginning, it ended 20 minutes early. A lot of people on social media was like, they thought Bray and Shane were going to come and restart the match after that low blow. But the pay-per-view ended early. But hey, it was that good of a pay-per-view to end early. Because it was that good. You know, really good. I think the short number of matches helped. Especially, a lot of matches got a lot of time. Especially main event, the IC title match, and women's match got a lot of time. So, there you go. Fun pay-per-view. Raw topped that. SmackDown finally delivered a decent show. It being a pay-per-view. One clunker in the Wyatt situation, but you couldn't blame them. Can you blame WWE for that clunker? They had to fill in somehow. So, that's how they did, but it was still bad. Especially since Bray lost. Again. At least, but when Bray does wrestle on, he better win. So, there you go. That's it for my review for Backlash. Thank you so much for watching. Again, my rating is 7.5. With that in mind, y'all been attacked by the review from Zach. Thank you again. See ya later.